represented by my power of attorney, right?
Yeah, you can't. You still can't go after a judge. You still can't go after. What I'm saying is, because they're playing by the rules of the court, you have to show that they're standing outside of the rules of the court, that they knew what the rules of the court were, and they deliberately broke the rules of the court. And I'm telling you, you ain't going to find a judge who's breaking the rules of the court. But like I said, you're right. People who've heard my show in the past, they'll say, my sister cursed like at me and my mom and my dad, back when my dad was alive, because we wouldn't give her $20,000 for a retaining fee for an attorney to go to family court against her Gambino husband, who had 3 Gambino attorneys, and I explained to her how simple it just worked the court. And she cleaned those clocks because she just asked, when she went into the court, she says, I am my case before the court. I lay my case before the court. And the judge was like, well, you're represented. I said, I am my case now before the president in court. I lay my case to court. I lay my case before the court, you know. Mm-hmm. So then she did it 3 times. She said, that's nonsense. So then when the other side tried to speak, my sister said, is that my husband speaking? And she said, no, why is that? And she said, I told you that, that any testimony, to be admissible as evidence has to be under oath affirmation. Is these attorneys willing to testify under oath affirmation that anything seen now is true? I said, of course not. I said, well, then, before we proceed, say it's my wish that I be sworn in and the other side be sworn in through oath or affirmation, and that therefore it could be admissible evidence to be pressed upon the record in the event and or for appellate review if it's necessary. So I just told my sister a couple little quick things to say like that, and the judge was like, absolutely. Then nobody's allowed to press anything onto the record unless they're sworn in. That's the rules of the court. Right. And does the judge know the rules? Damn right the judge knows the rules.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, she could have held it close to her hand, which she did. My sister did as a poker face and kept it close to hand. So then when she ambushed the other side, and she cleaned their clock. Right. She was going to get her clock cleaned because they had 3 Gambino attorneys, man. You better believe this judge knew who these freaking attorneys were. You better believe, man. The judge had to say to the attorneys, he said, hey, my hands were tied. I wanted to help these fellas. We're all on the same team here, but my hands were tied. What was I going to do? She knows the rules. I can't help you, guy. You're on your own. I don't care this guy paid you $1 million. I don't care what his mama is. I don't care who he's related to. I don't care. She called me out, and I got to accept the rules. I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to, be held in contempt of court of my own. The judge is not stupid. The judge knows the rules of court.
Right. Well, in my case, I'm the respondent. Whatever she's doing against me. But I can remember. Here's one. There's just little things that took me off. Everybody's a little bit. Well, maybe not everybody, but a little, careful about things when they want to go to court, and like the more being free and keep with your own, and rather than the whole judicial system, right? You there? Sorry.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. And so I've gone through 4 attorneys, and I think it was the 3rd attorney we were walking to court, and I showed them I was listening to someone else and talking about this kind of stuff, and I said, I have my certificate of live birth. Well, right away, her eyes just bulged out. I asked her to be certified. Well, there's another name for it, but actually stamp it, so that I could submit it in court and stuff like that. And it never got to the point where she was like, who do you think you are? Do you think you're above the law? Do you think you're above everybody else? Do you think that you can't do this and that and the next thing? And I was just like, I wasn't really expecting, to be sidewinding her, and she just lost it on me. Right?
That's what the judge said to you?
No, this is my lawyer as we were in the parking lot and walking to the courthouse.
Oh, okay.
And so I think she lost confidence in me because if I brought it up, I think that then would she have been found in contempt in representing a young man?
Oh, like I said, this is right. When you hire an attorney, right, they know, that the language that you're speaking is totally foreign to what she's speaking, and she's feeling that where you're going with this, that you're trying to bring her into the world of man. She knows she can't go there with you.
Right.
Like, why'd you hire me? You know, just do it on your own. You don't need me. You're competent. You're a man. What about stand up in court?
She was looking at the paychecks, and that's solely what she was after. Because any time I went to court, she's like, well, just consent to this, and she just, you know, in my world, she left me out completely.
Well, it's just like I said. It's just like I helped these folks up in Virginia the other day, and where I live. And the first thing that lawyer did is he wants to recuse himself from the case because the paperwork they put in there is like, well, hell, you know, you want to go in there as a man? There's nothing I can do. You know, you want to act like a man? You want to act like a woman? Do it. But you don't need me no more. So he wants to recuse himself.
She would never admit to that.
Their lawyer wants to recuse himself, which I said is fine. I said, but like I said, like any contractor, like I'm a contractor, and an attorney's basically a contractor. I said, all you basically tell him is like, fine, if until you do 100% of the job, you don't get paid. So any money I've given you to this point, I want to be reimbursed because you didn't complete the job that I contracted you to move my case through the court. So obviously, if you don't want to move my case to the court, you only want to do 10%, 20%, 30%, you know, I want my money back.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether it's an American thing or Canadian thing, but I know they get a little bit of money from you at the beginning, and then, of course, you know, like, when the court up here, well, preliminary round is not trial. They go to the court and they do the thin edge of the wedge. You know, like a little bit here, a little bit there. Everything's in little slices, right? The judge will say, okay, well, yeah, okay, so you need to sell the house. Well, my first round would actually be dealing with the kids first, but hers was more financial. So, okay, we'll slice up the house, and then we'll do that, and then we'll do that, and then finally get to the kids, right?
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say about this man, like I was trying to say, with suing, like not a lawyer, you sue him as a contract. You say his name is Bob. I paid him to do X, Y, and Z for me. He chose to do X and Y, but he refuses to do Z. I want my money back. And take it in front of a jury. You don't sue him for malpractice. That's insane. Because then it's based upon their rules, what they believe malpractice is, what they believe a lawyer is, what they believe an attorney is. It's just like, no, I paid a man named Bob to do X, Y, and Z. He refused to do X, Y, and Z. I demand $10,000 back. And just file in the local district court. You don't know. What I'm saying is you don't tell a court clerk he's a lawyer. It's none of her damn business. You just say, hey, a man named Bob said he'd do X, Y, and Z. Bob knows what X, Y, and Z is. Don't you worry about it, court clerk. Bob didn't do X, Y, and Z. I want Bob refuses to pay me back. I want to bring a trial by jury into this public courthouse. I need a court date set 22 days if Bob fails to settle with me.
Okay.
I'm just saying this is what I would recommend to people who want to go after a lawyer instead of saying, you know, because this is what these folks in Virginia are asking. They're like, well, how am I going to go get money from this guy? We sue him for malpractice? I said, that's ridiculous. Because he's doing everything according to his license. Right. He's not breaking any rules.
But I never had a contact with them for what the outcome would be.
It doesn't matter what the outcome will be. He said he wants to leave the case. Is the case over? No. Is the case final? No. So when you take it in front of a jury, you're going to say, look, when you hire a guy to do a job, don't you expect him to finish it to the end? Yes. Don't worry that he's a lawyer. Don't worry if he's a doctor. Don't worry if he's a machine mechanic. Don't worry if he's a welder. When you hire somebody to do a job, and he said he's going to do the job for you, do you not expect him, yes or no, to go to the end? Period.
Right.
That's all I want to know. I didn't ask about the outcome, because like I said, if you say, well, I hired a phone mechanic, or phone installer, or a satellite dish communicator, when I hooked up someone for the internet to come here and hook up my internet, I expected to get on the internet when he walked out that door. I can't get on the internet. I'm not going to give him an effing dime.
You're going to come back and hook that cable up to where you missed it, man.
Or I'm going to hire somebody else to do the job. That's all. I'm not going to let the guy back in my house because I don't trust him anymore. He's incompetent. He clearly shows that he's incompetent. But like I said, if you want to play by their rules and say, well, under Florida Code 123, Section 345, I'm going to sue for malpractice. Oh, well, you don't think the rule book is set into their favor? That you're not going to get any kind of, even a hearing into a court? Oh, please.
Right.
I tried that nonsense in Alabama. like I said, I got 9 attorneys, my wife got 8. We spent $100,000. All we asked was, why is our child in state custody? Can somebody please tell us? See, for 6 years we were led to believe it's because me and my wife had done some sort of wrong to the child. On the 30th hearing that we were in, the state prosecutor, the judge, the 9th judge, finally said to the prosecutor, tell us, man, why? Is it based on a contract, or did he commit a crime? The state prosecutor said, contract. I said to the judge, it took 29 times for me to be here. This is time number 30. You finally got out of that clown's mouth what I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. I went 9 lawyers. She went through 7. One of my lawyers is sitting right behind me. Right, Tom? Tom, how long you been a lawyer? 4 years. Did you know why we were here? Any time we were here? No, they never told me why. There you go, Judge. Does it make sense to you, Judge? So you don't think I tried to sue my previous 8 attorneys for malpractice? It ain't going to go nowhere. When I brought them into the bar to have the bar examine them, they said it's going to take about 3 years before we even have a hearing on them, any kind of disciplinary. It's insane.
I think
I'm not going to sue him as an attorney. I'm going to go after him as Bob. And when a jury finds out what the hell Bob did to me, you better believe the jury's going to render me a verdict on my behalf, regardless of what their malpractice code says.
I think up here in for the Law Society of Upper Canada, you're given 30 days to make some kind of complaint towards a lawyer.
Yeah, right. But like I said, that's because they wrote those rules for their benefit, not for your benefit.
Exactly. So you go in as a man, you make your own claim against them.
In your own court, in a public courthouse. Exactly, not by their rules, by your rules, and you get the jury to believe what your rules are good or their rules are good, and let the jury swing it. Right. But like